Okay, Mid-Penn Bank Podcast, we got something really special today. As you all know from the last year, we do this as an audio podcast only. But today we're doing video audio podcast. And I have with me Ali Barubi, the sports director for WHTM TV 27 News here in Harrisburg. And Ali, we're going to have a fun day today. We're going to talk to a bunch of celebrities, mostly athletes. Some from football, some from the NHL, some from the NBA. Some from Major League Baseball. So how as a sports director, you got to be ready to go.
This is heaven, by the way. You've assembled the who's who of celebrities in sports. You brought them all here to beautiful Hershey, Pennsylvania, of course, for a great cause in the fight against breast cancer, but really just an awesome group of individuals and truly a testament to the work that you all are doing. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to chat with them. We're going to tell some crazy stories. I mean, this is a dream come true.
It's going to be tough to keep them channeled in on, telling stories that you can actually put on the air on a podcast. But, this has been a fun time trying to put this golf tournament together. And as Ali said, it's a golf tournament that raises money for breast cancer charities. We have two great ones, the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition that serves women who already have breast cancer, and they also do some funding of research. And the Bosser Center down at the University of Penn Medicine in Philadelphia, Drs. Susan Domchek and Dr. Payal Shah, who are doing cancer research. They're trying to figure out a way to solve this BRCA gene mutation. And what they need is money. And so we've put this golf tournament together, and I call on a bunch of my celebrity friends to come and help us attract some really generous sponsors, and that's the formula. So, we thought Scott Bosjancic, who's the producer of our podcast, we thought that, let's put together a video podcast. Let's bring in the best to help me with this because I'm not a professional. And we're going to have a day of great interviews that we hope to share with you over the next couple months. So here we go. Mid-Penn Bank Celebrity Golf Classic 2024 and the Mid-Penn Bank Podcast. All right, we got Andre Roberts. Man, you had a big day on the golf course yesterday, didn't you?
That was a big day, kind of.
You get down to the last hole on your 9.
Yep.
Once you get down to that, it's like one shot, that makes the difference. You can make some mistakes early, when there's a bunch of teams, but when you're down to 2 teams, one little mistake, makes a difference, right?
Yeah, I put it on myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had a little difficulties early. We made it all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I had a shot to get on the green for my partner to make a par, and I didn't get it done. So,
well, it's a team thing, and you can't put it on yourself.
It is a team thing, but as a competitor,
I know you want that trophy
so bad, so bad. Every year, I'm like, I have a chance, and as long as you try to stay out of some of those chip offs, you have a chance.
And you guys had a lot of chip offs on your side.
We had a lot of chip offs. I think it was like almost every hole.
On our side, we didn't have any chip offs.
Yeah, we heard that. So you guys were like done, and we were still on, I think, almost just getting off 17.
You were having a chip off on 17 when I got up there. Yeah.
And I was like, what are they doing over there? There's no way they're playing faster than us right now, but it's because we had so many chip offs.
Yeah, and I think having the carts yesterday made it a little bit move along a little bit faster.
I love having the carts. Yeah. I walked, but our caddies took the carts, and I think it was a little bit better for them too, not having that bag on their back.
Why does that, because that trophy, it's a nice thing and everything, but why is that so important to you? You played in the NFL for a bunch of years. You had some really big moments in the NFL. Why is that trophy so important?
Well, like I said, I come here every year. I'm such a competitor. The guys that I play with, like I play with Robert Whittick this year, and the guys that I play with want it bad too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things, like I want it just as much as them, for them and for myself.
Right.
But it's just a fun event every year. The competitors, nobody wants to be out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's frustrated. Everybody's nervous. Just see people on the first tee box. They put their tee in the ground. And they're like shaking a little bit. I'm like, calm down. It's only the first hole. We're only losing one person. Sometimes it's 2. But it's all fun.
Do you ever feel like nerves on the golf course?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
You're a return specialist, man.
Yeah, if you're gonna ever have nerves, It's going to be when you have about 60, 70,000 people in the stands and you're the only one back there
Mm-hmm.
catching the ball, and you know your team is depending on you to get them back the ball.
Right.
So, yeah, that brings a little nerves. But even with that, you do it for long enough,
Mm-hmm.
the nerves kind of just go away.
So why do you come back every year? I mean, we love having you, man. And
It-
It comes back to that trophy.
yeah.
I do come back for the trophy, but that's not the only thing. I think bringing awareness to breast cancer, and not only in October,
Mm-hmm.
as football players, we had Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, but anytime during the year for social media to bring awareness and just having it, out there is always a good thing, and I'm always happy to support.
Did you have anyone in your family or friend?
So yes, I think most everybody
Mhm.
has at least someone in their family, a friend, or they know somebody, of a friend that's been affected. So one of my best friend's mother died from breast cancer. My ex-girlfriend ended up getting breast cancer. She's cleared now, thank God. But I think, like I said, everybody's been affected at some point in time in their life, and we got to find a cure.
When
My
you
man.
see the money raised here, and Rory talks about it so well, it's going to women who are battling breast cancer here in central Pennsylvania, but also for the Bassett Center. That's so close to finding a cure. That was launched, by the way. I apologize.
What was that?
That scared me a lot.
Oh, is that one of those exploding balls?
Yeah, didn't love it.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what's important. But the money raised here is going to make a difference in that fight. Do you take pride in being a part of this, knowing that Rory and Mid-Penn Bank are pushing that mission forward?
Absolutely. I take a lot of pride in it. It's something that's in my heart to give, and breast cancer is such a big thing. It doesn't matter. I mean, Rory said it the other night. It doesn't matter your skin color, your race. If you have a lot of money, a little bit of money, it affects everybody, and it's such a big thing to be a part of. And bringing awareness is huge, regardless of what time of year it is, or what organization it is. Just bringing awareness and have people understand what it is, and try to make a change when it comes to breast cancer.
All right, go get him, man.
Thank
You're
you.
the best, Andre.
All right.
Love you, man. All right, we've got Jesse Orozco. So when you're gonna talk, pull it up there. A lot of guys. You're talking. You got the mic down here. I'm going. All right.
My voice low.
Yeah.
So Jesse, the question everyone asks you since 1986 has to be, what happened to the glove?
Well, it still hasn't come down. I'm just waiting. I'd like to get it back, but I'll tell you the story. I ended up giving it to an officer that was paralyzed in action in New York City. So he has the glove now, and it's
Really?
Yeah. And lately he's passed away, but it gave him, I think that made a lot of money on that ball,
Mm-hmm.
and so that helped him, stay a while.
So for a lot of people, Allie's a lot younger. I was a Mets fan, of course. I've told you that a million times. And in 1986, he got the last out in the World Series, and he was so excited he tossed his glove right up in the air, and the camera stays on him. You never see the glove come down. So everyone
He couldn't find me. He couldn't find me. That's the thing. Where did he go? He might be dead underneath that bag.
What's that moment like?
Oh, it's
I mean, you work all your life. You want to be there. You want to have that ball in your hand in that last inning, but like when it finally happens, that's got to be incredible.
It is. I mean, because it's so loud out there on a field. It's exciting. The fans are into it, and in my situation, I had to try to stay as calm as I could, which
Mhm.
was tough to do. And at that time, I was facing the Boston Red Sox, and they had a pretty solid team. And I just kind of, bit my lip and said, "Let's go." And then everything just turned out a gem
Was that the best team you ever played on?
by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That team was. You guys had an incredible
were
pitching
stacked.
staff. You had an incredible bullpen. You offense, defense. You had everything. Gary Carter was, probably the best catcher in baseball at the time.
Yeah. I just wish. I think we had a chance to maybe win another World Series or two.
Yeah.
It just something happened, and but lucky to get that one, and it's just incredible.
You know, and I think that shows that in baseball, you know, there's 162 games, there's a bunch of teams, like everything has to come together, no matter how good you guys are, right?
You do, yeah, and that's why even the people that are not on the field, extra guys, you know, we have to keep them involved in case something happens, because
Right.
if someone gets hurt, next guy's had to come in and get prepared, and so we just had a really good set of guys from every position, and that made the difference.
How quick can a culture change of a team? You get, you know, a couple new guys come in every year. Can that elevate an organization or take it down?
No, it elevates it, because I mean they come in for a need. You know, one main guy gets hurt, and then you got to bring somebody to keep everything going.
So this is your second year. Thank you for coming back.
I appreciate it. This is wonderful.
You and Letitia were amazing last year. You know, you fused right into the crowd, and you became part of the family. Why? What got you here to begin with, and how important is this type of tournament for you?
It's so special that my wife and I are still like just talking about it like last night. I'm saying, like, this has been the most wonderful thing ever, and you know, travel around. You have made it so easy for me and so much fun for me. Everybody that's here is just wonderful to play golf with, or what are we doing? You know, it's been so fantastic.
That's awesome. You gonna
And,
come
you know,
back next year?
Raise a lot of money.
Absolutely,
and
man.
That's
That's
what it's all about.
that's the key.
Yeah.
Are you gonna come back next year?
I'm coming back
Absolutely.
every year.
Good, man.
I'm not thinking just one more year.
We're gonna do it for a long time. So
I'd love to. It's just been fantastic, and I appreciate it. Thanks to all of you.
well, thank you, Jesse, for coming. And if I don't get to see Letitia before you guys take off, tell her I said thank you.
Okay, I will.
I mean, because you know what the women do while you guys are out here playing golf. All the wives and guests, you know, they're having a spa day today, right? But they did a lot of work this week, and the women that we have at this golf tournament, they're so important. All the wives and the spouses. And my wife is treating them to a spa day today because they really deserve it.
I know. Yeah, that's good. That's fantastic. That's due to the part of you and your everybody that you have here. So it's I'm impressed.
Well, we talked about this all week. This is a team. You know, it's not just Mid-Penn Bank. It's the celebrities. It's the sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all pull together. We all have a lot of fun. You know, we know that. We have a lot of fun, and we do a lot of fun things. But at the end of the day, we know it's about raising some serious money to eradicate this disease. And, you know, with guys like you coming out here, you know, making the trip all across the country to come here, it means a lot.
No,
so we couldn't do it without you.
I'm appreciative of what you guys did for me, and I plan on coming every time.
Beautiful, man.
Great.
Go get them.
Guys.
I know they probably need your drive or a good putt. All right, Jess. Thanks, man.
Put it
All
right
right.
there.
Now, look, we've had some great guests already, but we got Coach Herm Edwards. So, do you remember you probably don't remember the first time we met. We were at Jaworski's tournament,
Yes.
and it was the night before the shootout.
Right.
And we took a picture, and it was you and Joe Pisarcik
Joe P.
and his your partner,
Yeah.
which was Kenny Kuckenauer,
Yes.
and me. And I love that picture. I still had that picture up in my house. And I was like, you know, the beautiful part about that was, and I think I was one say, hey, come on, let's get these guys together. Because, you know, you guys were on the opposite ends of the probably in Eagles lore, the most famous play, in Giants lore, the most infamous play in NFL history,
Right.
the miracle at the Meadowlands.
It's kind of interesting you mentioned that, because, you know, Joe takes a lot of grief for that.
He does.
And to his credit, I mean, you know, he's humbled with it. He doesn't try to, you know, dish it off. But the funny part, the real story is this. So Joe, you know, people don't know the story, the real true story of how this all evolved. They see the play, but they don't know why it happened. The week prior to us playing the Giants, they were playing in a game, and Coach called a play-in toward the end of the game. And Joe didn't run the play. He ran it. He checked it. He says, no, I'm running this play. Story goes, and Joe tells the story. Game's over. Head coach comes up to him after the game and says, hey, look, when I call something, you make sure that you do it, you call it, or basically put you on the bench.
Right.
Wind it forward. They're playing against us. So they're in the huddle. And the first play, people don't see this. They run a dive. They give it to Zonka. He runs up the middle. We tackle him. The next play is actually a quarterback kneel down. So Bill Berge, when they kneel down, he knocks Clack into Joe. And now a little scuffle starts.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the clock. And the coach on the sideline, their coach says, okay, now we're going to run the dive again. Joe's in the huddle with Zonka and all those guys, and they're telling him, no, take a knee. Joe's going, no. Coach called this play. So I'm standing there. I'm literally standing like right here. And Doug Kodar is standing right here on the wing. And I shake his hand and say, hey, man, congratulations, we're talking. And I'm kind of looking at this, and Joe is kind of over the center, over Clack. And he's looking back at Zonka, and Zonka does this. He goes, oh. And I'm watching all this. I'm going, there's something weird about this. And the 40-second clock is ticking down. And Clack sees the clock. It gets down to about 5 seconds. If they don't hike the ball, it's going to be a delay.
Mm-hmm.
The clock stops. So Clack hikes it before Joe's ready. So the ball's bobbled, actually, from the center quarterback exchange. So he turns around, and now the timing's bad. And Zonka comes through. It hits his hip. Kodar is looking at me. He's not even blocking because he thinks it's a kneel down. So I grab Kodar by his shoulder pad and go around him. And the only thing I hear Joe, he's reaching for the ball. And he goes, oh, no. And I run to the end zone.
Did that ball
perfect bounce.
Right into your
I said, as soon as it bounced, I said, I can't fall on the ball. I gotta get it on the bounce. I get it on the bounce. Now the crazy story is this: Dick Vermeil is our coach. So Dick Vermeil's on the sideline with Jaws and all the rest of the guys, and he's got him in a circle. And he's saying, hey, if we get the ball back and the players are leaving the bench, and Dick says, where are you guys going? He said, Coach, Herm just scored a touchdown. Dick never saw the play. He never saw the play. So the next year, Joe Pisarcik comes to the Eagles.
Yeah, that's right.
He goes with
Yeah.
us to the Super Bowl. And so we know he's coming in the locker room. So imagine this. Joe Pisarcik is right there where those cameras are.
Right.
Getting ready to walk through the doors. The whole team is standing like this waiting for him. He comes in, and Jaws is standing by me. He says, play it again, Sam. He drops the ball on the ground, and I pick it up and give it to Joe.
So
Welcome.
I had the extreme fortune of I'm at Pebble Beach.
Okay.
And I'm with Jaws and Pisarcik and Kuckenauer.
Yeah.
And Jaws said that he was having breakfast with Jim Tunney.
Yeah, Jim Tunney. Yeah,
and Jim Tunney was writing the book about you.
Yeah, Jim Tunney.
And
That's right.
so Jaws said, look, I can't have breakfast with you guys tomorrow. I'm having it with Jim Tunney. So when I got down there, I see Jaws and Jim Tunney and Pisarcik.
Right.
And they're sitting at the table, and Jaws waved me over.
Right.
So I went over and I sat down. So Tunney's, he's asking Jaws questions about you.
Right.
And he said, so, he looks over at Joe and he goes, Joe, you were on the opposite side of the play of the most famous play, kind of made, one of the big things in Herm's career.
Right.
So tell me what happened.
And
So Joe
explaining
tells that story just like you told it.
It's true.
And there were reports of it when he said, and so he snapped the ball into my hands and he looks at Jaws. He goes, when you don't quite get the ball in your hands, it's in your fingertips. He's like, it was one of those.
Yeah.
He said, and I turned and Zonka wasn't where he was supposed to be. And he said, I squeezed the ball and it fell out and I went down.
It's unbelievable, and it's, in the moment that it happens, you don't imagine in your mind the after effect of it.
Right.
And where historically it ranks, as a play in the NFL. But when it happens, like you just pick up the ball and you go.
Right.
That happened in 1978.
Mm-hmm.
And people still talk about it. It's like, really? For me, it wasn't that.
Old people like
Well,
us.
yeah, and for me, it's not. It ain't that big of a deal. It's like, okay, I picked up the ball, and I always tell people, I said I played there for almost 10 years. I had 38 interceptions.
No talk about any of that.
I said, Coach, it's the fumble. I said, wait, I said 38 interceptions. That's a lot of interceptions, guys.
Yeah. Which takes a lot of talent. The fumble, like that was fortune, right? Like
That's exactly
right.
In the right place at the right time. But it's like
you had to work hard for those 38 interceptions. I mean, let's talk about that.
They're hard, but it's like I always say, one thing about football, either you're on the good side of a big play or on the bad side.
So what are you doing these days? You're working at the Worldwide Leader Sports.
I'm back at the Worldwide Leader.
Yeah.
I took a sabbatical and went to college football, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was at Arizona State for almost 5 years, and then I went back to the Worldwide Leader. I've been with them now last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fun. Television's fun.
And how many days are you?
Well, so I did my schedule good this time. So
Right.
I'm about 100 days in a year.
Nice.
It's good.
So basically, on the off season, they put a studio in the house, so I can do it from the house. But starting in August, I'm going back every week. So last year I was back every week. So for 5 months, I'm on an airplane.
So you're working 100 days, gives you a couple hundred days to
Yeah.
do whatever else you want to do.
Exactly.
What else are you doing?
Well, I got 2 daughters, and just visit with you. The one is funny. Gabrielle is her name, and she is a film major, journalism major, and so she's a senior. So she had tried to get in all these colleges, and so her final 4 were Michigan, Notre Dame, Texas,
Yep.
and Cal Berkeley. We're Catholic. I'm going. I
Notre-
looked at my wife. I told her
ND.
she got to go to Notre Dame. She
Yeah.
just got to go to Notre Dame.
You're,
So
you're
we
excited.
take the trips to Notre Dame, and Coach knows I'm on campus. He calls me. He said, "Coach, bring Gabrielle over here." So Gabrielle meets with the head football coach for an hour, and he's talking to her about, "Hey, you can cover the team, you do this," and I'm like, and I
We're
give
going.
Coach, I give Coach, I said, "Coach, we are good."
You go to the bookstore, you get all your swag, and you're in.
I said,
Proud
"We're
dad.
good." She goes to Michigan. And Harbaugh's gone, so now I'm mad at Harbaugh because he's gone. I said he could have watched her, because I want to send her somewhere I got eyes, right?
Smart
And
man.
so then we go to Texas. The AD meets with her at Texas for an hour. I'm going, oh boy. So at the end, a week later, I'm going, Notre Dame. Daddy, I'm going to Texas. I went, you go where? I'm going to Texas.
Welcome.
So she's going to Texas, so it's all good. It's a
And
great
now her
relationship.
younger sister.
Her younger
is,
sister is the junior.
Right.
She's going to be a senior this year. So I already told my wife, I said, if Vivian goes to Texas, the next thing you're going to tell me,
You need a house.
we need a condo in Texas.
Someone's got to watch the girls.
So I'm already waiting for that. I'm waiting for the condo talk.
So Herm, thank you so much.
No,
This
my
is your
pleasure.
second year back. You did a lot better in the shootout this year. Last year was
I had a good player, man.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
And, look, obviously, all the participants are here to play golf, but it's bigger than golf.
What does this mean to you?
It's we're trying to find a cure, right? I mean, and sometimes we don't get that. We walk around in life and don't understand that, when you're healthy, you don't think about stuff like that, right? And it affects so many women and men, this cancer thing, right? And for me to be able to come to this and participate in it and meet folks I've never met before, and just have fun for 4 or 5 hours playing golf, right? And the cause is like, that's what brings me back. And the people that run the tournament, obviously yourself, all you folks, it's just great. I mean, look, I get asked to play in a lot of tournaments, and I pick and choose the ones I want to play in. And this is one, and I told my wife, I said, you know what? If they invite me back, I'm going back. I told her that last year when I got home. After the first year was last year. She said, really? I said, yeah, I'm going back. She said, you really like it? And I said, yeah, it's for a good cause. It's good people, right? It's good people, man. And you want to be around good people. I mean, that's what life's about. It's not about what you do for a living. It's how you give back to others. And if I can come back here and ride in a golf cart with 5 guys I've never met or women and just talk about whatever they want to talk about, right? Because the one thing I do know, when you're whatever they want to call a celebrity, people always want to know, what are you? It's like anything else.
Yeah.
You hold the microphone and you talk to the television.
Right.
It's just-
Well, I liken it to, and we talked about this Tuesday night at the Champions Dinner. This is a team.
Yes.
And we have celebrities
Yep.
who, can't do it without them, can't do it without sponsors,
No
can't
doubt.
do it without the employees from
That's
Penn
exactly
Bank.
right. That's exactly
And
right.
it's a week of we all pull together and create a special team and do some wonderful things together.
There's no doubt. And the good part for me, a lot of the former players I played with
Yeah.
are involved in this tournament, or guys I played against. So you get to see them.
So the greatest moment of the shootout yesterday, he's probably the 6th or 7th hole, and Herm has a 20-foot putt, and it's a bender, and he hits it, and it's no more than 3/4 of the way there,
Yeah.
and he turned around and started walking away.
I knew that was going in.
And then-
it's going in.
So I yelled when it went in. I was, "Ah!" And I think you thought maybe you lipped out. So I picked the ball out of the hole for him because I was like, that was one of the greatest moments I've ever
I'll
seen
tell
at
you
this
what,
tournament.
This is a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
the group I'm playing with, great group of guys. We're having a good old time.
All right, well, we barred you for too long, man.
appreciate
Coach,
you
I love you, man.
really
Thank
love
you
you
so
guys.
much, man.
Appreciate you.
You're the best.
Thank you, dear.
Of course.
And by the way, you're invited back every year.
I'll be back.
All right, and we're back. Like Patrick, you said, I don't want to follow that guy.
Hey, coach can talk, man. You know, he can go, so I don't want to follow him. But
Yeah, but you know,
Could be
he
it.
set a good stage for you guys.
hey, I know he did.
Yeah. So, how's it going out there today?
I'm hitting it good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm proud of myself today. So, you know, I've been working on my drivers, so I hit it straight the couple of times I hit it and made some good second shots.
How
So
long
I'm
have you been
having a
playing
good
golf?
time. Seriously, probably 8 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever take lessons, or you just figure
I
kind of?
3 lessons in my life.
Yeah, 3. That's it.
Natural athlete.
Oh, look at the guy.
Yep, 3 lessons, but fun game, man. You know, playing, you have to find something that keeps you motivated and challenge you, and golf is that
Well,
game.
you have that little guy with you. I mean,
Little Miles, my
yeah.
son, he's having a good time.
yeah.
He looked at me about the second hole. He's like, I'm having a much better time than I thought I was gonna have.
Now, does he have golf clubs? Does he
Yes.
play a little bit? That's
Yeah.
good.
So I have a hitting net in the house, and so we practice a lot in
That's
the
good.
house, and then go and hit balls. But,
Does he have any siblings or?
Yep. So my oldest son Josh is at Clemson now playing tight end.
Mhm.
So he's there as a sophomore. Had a good season last year as a freshman, and he's gonna have a much bigger role this year. So.
Do you get to go to all his games?
Oh yeah, I try to.
Yeah.
I try to. Most of them definitely all at home, and majority of the ones on the road.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And we got John Stupar over here, who was fresh from a shootout yesterday, which was that your first time playing in the shootout?
It was my second time
Yeah.
playing, but definitely more nervous this time around. More people.
It's like that thing is really elevated.
It
Like,
really
the
does.
Talent level.
Yeah,
is
and it
elevated.
really makes you concentrate on your game and realize your weaknesses, your game too, because the
Right.
stress level is a lot higher than when you're playing with your buddies. So.
Yeah. So, John, we got you here the very first time through the NFL alumni, and which we worked on with Beasley Reese. But you've been back every year. What brings you back every year?
It's the people. I mean, Rory, when I met you at Jaws' event that one year, and then when I got invited out here, it's the people.
Yeah.
The people and the cause.
Yeah.
Obviously, the cause is big to me with my grandmother having breast cancer and getting through that. And even most people don't know this, I had a teammate in college at Virginia, a center, Zach Yarbrough, who actually got diagnosed with breast cancer. So it's very rare in men too. So I think it's important to also just bring that up too. That's, I just, everything about it I love.
You know,
So-
we talked about that the other night at the Champions Dinner. You got to a little bit late. It's breast cancer doesn't discriminate, right? It goes after everyone, anyone. Doesn't matter what your age is. Doesn't matter if you're a sinner or a saint. Doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have. Doesn't matter what your religion is. It goes after everyone, and that's why weeks like this, when we all pull together, and we come from different walks of life and from all areas of the country, and we all become part of the same team when we're here and for that cause. Did you have any personal connection?
Oh yeah, my sister, she's actually battled breast cancer 10 years ago, and she beat it, and it came back 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's in remission again.
Oh,
So,
good.
she's doing good. Friends of mine, his wife died, LaVon Kirkland wife died from breast cancer.
Yeah.
So definitely it touches home. It is a disease, like you said, that don't discriminate, and it probably touched everybody out here lives in some shape, form, or fashion.
I bet you if we asked everyone that question, everyone would say that it either, directly impacted them or indirectly impacted them, through a, extended family member or friend.
100%.
It's like over 300,000 women a year are diagnosed with it, and
Wow.
over 40,000 women die. And it's like, it's time. Like, we just got to get the right resources behind this and commit them to the right organizations. Like the Bosser Center down at the University of Penn Medicine in Philadelphia, these two female doctors down there, Susan Domchek and Payal Shah. When you sit down and talk with those women, and they're going to get this squared away, given enough resources,
Exactly.
which they need. They need money, at the end of the day. And so all the things that we're doing here, and I know we all have fun, right? This is a really fun time all
Right.
week, and people have smiles and there's a lot of stress. But at the end of the day, it's about what we're doing and pulling together and trying to make sure the Levon Kirkland stories don't happen anymore.
You guys do a great job, man. We met at Darryl Green's tournament.
Yeah.
Initially, and I came to support you guys. You guys invited me, and I appreciate you guys, and you support our golf tournament as well. But a phenomenal job you guys do, man.
Thanks, Patrick.
You guys take care of us. I brought my son, and you guys, got me a babysitter for him. Allow me to have a
We got
little
plenty of people around here to
Watch after.
But no, seriously, I mean, I will support you guys as long as I can, and appreciate you guys having me. You
Thanks,
do a
Patrick.
great job too, man.
Thank you, man.
I know you don't want any credit.
Nah.
but I said that last
should
night,
take it.
man. The way that you host, the attention to detail, the things you remember about people, everybody can't do that, and you do a great job.
First
with that,
class.
so,
First
yeah.
class, Rory.
All right, guys, go get him.
Appreciate you.
Go hit some long
Appreciate it.
drives. Stu Park, keep it in the fairway.
Yeah, right.
All right, here we are back with Freddie Mitchell. So Freddie Mitchell has got to be one of the best known players in Eagles history because what year are we in?
First of all, thank you for saying Freddie Mitchell. They're usually calling me Fred X or something like that. The fans, they get at it. They make up names, but I like it. Freddie Mitchell. That sounds great. So what was the question again?
What was the year of the play we're about to talk about?
I made so many plays, but the one I think that they're talking about is it was 2003. It was Brett Favre's last game as a Packer.
Oh, really?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So it was at the Link.
So this is a divisional game,
Yes,
right?
yes,
It wasn't the championship.
It wasn't.
Although-
It led to the championship.
Right.
It got us to the championship.
Right. So I'm at the game with my dad and a couple other guys, and we're in a suite.
So you didn't understand how cold it was, really? Like
No.
understand?
No,
how
no,
cold
we-
it was.
we
It's
did-
Sweet life.
Sweet.
Actually, this was not my friend's suite because he would always leave the windows open. And so, you kind of had the benefit of feeling how cold it was. And then if you wanted to go up and get a little warm, then you could, But we were renting seats in the suite.
Okay.
And the suite owner had the windows closed. So, yeah, I didn't feel all that
Didn't
stuff.
experience it.
Coldest
So-
game of my life, by the way.
So McNabb throws an interception, I think in the first quarter,
yes,
right? And it's 0-0
yes,
at the time.
yes.
And my dad, who has been an Eagles fan forever, he goes, this game's over.
He
And
left.
I'm like,
He left.
no,
Yeah.
but he's like,
He
"This
wanted
game's
to
over."
leave.
I'm like, what do you mean the game's over? It's nothing in the first quarter. So now we go to the fourth quarter, and the Eagles have a 4th and 26. And I was like, yeah, this game's over. we
You
gotta go.
agreed.
It is definitely the impossible.
It was the impossible. And McNabb drops back, and he's looking. All of a sudden, he fires it down to pretty much the center of the field.
Yeah.
And you're there, and you make a great catch. It's way over your head.
Right.
A tremendous leap.
Well, they knew that when you said McNabb threw it. So just play. He threw a great ball there.
Yeah.
It was.
It was probably the only place that he could have thrown it for you to get to it without it being intercepted.
He threw a great ball. I read the defense, and actually, the defensive coordinator got fired after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Because of you.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But,
Cost a man his job.
I mean, it was a great play. I mean, I read the defense. I knew what was going to happen. The play before, I told Andy, I'm like, hey, this is the defense they're playing. This is what you need to run.
Right.
And he's like, you think so, Fred? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? It's
So-
4th and 26.
How did your time in Philadelphia go after that? Because that's an iconic play
Right.
in Eagles history, right?
Right. Well, it was great. I think that solidified my legacy that I had, with the Eagles. And then the next year, we brought on a great Hall of Fame wide receiver by the name of Terrell Owens,
Mm-hmm.
and that was great. So then we went to the Super Bowl after that.
Yeah.
And then Dick Vermeil picked me up with the Chiefs for my last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've had a great time. Being in the NFL is a great platform, and when you're 5 years old, you would never think that it would end to the NFL.
So those 4 years that the Eagles went to the NFC Championship game, they won one of them,
Yes.
lost 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
Were you on all 4?
I was on all 4.
Yeah.
I'm undefeated with that. That was
So
great.
which of those teams was the team that ended up going to the Super Bowl? Was that the best of those 4 teams?
Man, we had some
'Cause, I mean, I think
great
The
teams.
2002 teams.
The one we lost the last game in the vet, the last game in the
Against
vet
Tampa Bay.
against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
That one hurt the most. That one hurt the most.
I was at that game too.
I think that. Yeah.
You know that was a brutal loss. We thought we had that game.
we were winning.
Remember,
we were winning.
Eagles
by like,
scored a touchdown right off the bat,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we were winning by like 3 touchdowns, and that one really hurt. You know, we had Brian Mitchell was running back, and running back kickoff returns and stuff like that. It was a great team. Our defense it was amazing. I just hurt. We just couldn't do it.
Yeah, so that walking out of the vet that night was tough.
Yeah.
And then the next year, open up against Tampa Bay, lose again,
Oof.
right? But then you end up in the NFC Championship game against Carolina and lose that game. And walking out of the link that night, it was the eeriest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was quiet.
It was
very,
quiet.
very, very quiet. And now I'm thinking now, though, you know, I closed the vet and opened the link.
Right.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
How many players can say they did the same?
Not too many. Not too many. Probably 53.
The roster was a little
Well, maybe not
different year
quite
to year.
50.
Okay.
There had to be a couple guys.
Yeah,
that
a couple guys got
settled out.
traded
Yeah,
or
right,
whatever else. Yeah, definitely.
So what are you up to these days?
Oh, I'm in King of Prussia now. I never left.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can never leave Philadelphia. You know, the real athletes stay in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the fans are so great, the people, the community. It's just everything, you know. And I never left, and I raised a family here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how many kids you have?
I have 3 that I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's beautiful.
it's good. You didn't
And-
laugh at that.
He did. Like, okay, sounds good.
He's like, serious? Yeah,
Okay,
we
yeah.
get that. We get that. We've
So-
heard it
Do your
before.
thing.
Freddie, you've been here a few years. This is, I think, is this your first year as a celebrity captain?
Yes,
You
I
came
just-
as a guest a couple years, and
it was a community thing,
Yeah.
supporting, you know, breast cancer and cancer in general. And then I just love doing community things. So
Yeah.
I came with a lot of friends that are really, really big in the community. So
yeah,
it's good, man. I have fun here. The people love it. You know, I love it.
and we love having you, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
the
what-
fans.
And I press you too. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Where am I at? Give me that phone call.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know Zamponia,
Yes.
right? He's got you on speed dial, and you guys
Yes.
met last night at the.
Yes, Chris.
So he'll make sure that there'll always be an
I'm having
invitation.
fun.
For you.
If anybody watches, you have to come to this event. It's like one of the best.
Yeah.
And then the athletes could talk to everybody, and it's,
Right.
it's pretty good.
So we're
I
gonna,
talk to athletes that I have never seen before.
Right.
You know, it's amazing.
so we're gonna get you into the shootout next year because I know you're a competitor, and
You
you
know
know-
what? You know what's wrong with me though? I don't take score when I play golf because I want to enjoy the golf.
right. That's
But
probably a smart thing. I might have to do that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can
That's
hit
a
a
lot better.
300-yard drive and then I 4-putt, and now all I'm thinking about is that 4-putt now.
Right.
You know, no, not
I think
anymore.
I was just telling John Stupar. I think I just did that the other day. I hit a 300-yard
See?
drive in this hole, and then I
Then you
ended up getting a
and
bogey
then,
on it.
and then you're mad.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I'm going to dwell on that 300-yard drive I just hit. You know?
There's so much. Everyone loves the long ball.
Yeah, they
You
do.
know?
That's why.
You
why
make a 2-foot putt, and like that's
ask
not
my
exciting.
team. They're
Right.
like, oh, Fred, you can go at it now. We're safe. I'm like, perfect.
All right, get back to your team, man.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having
much,
me.
Freddie.
No, Roy,
Love
thanks
you,
for having
baby.
us. It's a pleasure being
You're
here.
the best.
All right.
We're here with Beasley Reese. Beasley, this is your 6th, 7th year at the golf tournament.
This has been an amazing tournament from the beginning. It's been the best. It's on my schedule because of the people involved. I get to see all my guys. But here's what gets me, and I hope I don't get emotional. You know, I won the shootout the first year, and I donated my money back to the charity, and not really thinking much about it. And then I wrote a check a couple of times, $500, $1,000, whatever each year for the charity. And then this year, about 6 months ago, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, and
I didn't know that, man.
we caught it really early, and she's in great shape, doing great.
Thank goodness.
But to just know that these years I've been here, and this has been such an amazing effort for people to raise money for research, and that research helped save my life. And
Yeah.
all of us, we're going to be touched by it somewhere in our family. So it's just such a pleasure for me to be here, and I so appreciate what this group, this tournament, and this bank, what they do and how they do it.
How's your wife doing now?
She's doing fantastic, and she was coming, but my grandkids came.
Grandkids take
They
precedence.
came about a week ago, and they're still there. So she dropped out, but she was coming this year because she was so thankful for what you do, Roy, and the effort that the bank makes. So she really wanted to be here. She'll be here next year.
She'll be
Good.
here next year.
And,
Absolutely.
and bring the grandkids.
Bring
You know,
everyone.
we got-
And I've been saying to myself, I should put a grandkids. I'm at Hershey. What am
It's
I
Hershey. You
thinking?
got Hershey Park, man. There's
Oh,
like
no,
tons
you're
of things
right.
for them to do.
The
And
whole
we got
pack will be
and we
here
got plenty
next
of babysitters too. I don't know how old the grandkids are, but Patrick Sapp, you
Yeah,
saw he
yeah,
brought his
yeah,
son,
he
and he's
did,
like,
he
"Oh man,
did.
you guys got me nice babysitters." I'm like,
that
we
is
got
so
plenty
cool.
of people around. ready to do that.
Everything here is first class, just first class. All of the guys. You talk to any of these celebrities, we get invited to play all over the country, and they come here because of the way it's just so much fun and just the way it is. It's just awesome. If you can get involved, get involved.
All right, Bees, I'm going to ask you to tell this same story that you told me yesterday morning at breakfast when I asked you about when you first started playing golf. If you can tell that story.
So you want me to embarrass myself?
No,
So
it's a great story.
You'll like this. So I'm at a small station in Tampa, Florida. It wasn't Tampa. It's like St. Petersburg, and a little bitty station. My first job after football, and I get a call from a guy. He says, "I'm the general manager of a big deep voice of a TV station in Connecticut. I watched your sportscast the last 2 or 3 nights. I want you to come up and work for me."
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, wow, awesome." He said, "We got the Hartford Whalers. You know anything about hockey?"
Yes. You did.
Thank you. I said, yes. I didn't
You
know
say
what a-
yes
I
no
didn't
matter
know
what.
nothing. I said, yes, I do. He didn't really, he trusted that I knew basketball with UConn men's, women basketball, how popular that is. And then he said, and we've got the Greater Hartford Open, the Sammy Davis Jr. Greater Hartford Open back then.
Of course.
So they brought actors, the greatest big name people. This was a huge tournament. And he said, do you play golf? And I said, yes, I do. And I thought I did. I had some mismatched clubs, and, I'd go out and putt at a charity event or whatever. So they picked me up from the airport on Tuesday of the Greater Hartford Open, take me straight to the golf course, and line me up in the Celebrity Long Drive contest.
Perfect.
They introduced everybody before me. The mayor of Hartford went. Senators, Hartford is the capital. Senators went. Hartford Whaler stars went. And then the guy, Chuck Keaton, he was the voice of the Hartford Whalers.
The hockey team you know so
The
much
hockey
about.
team.
Yeah.
Big voice. And now, that was the last guy. And now, former captain of the New York Giants. The Patriots weren't a good team yet. So it was big Giants country, Connecticut. Former captain of the New York Giants defense, our new sports director, WVIG, Beasley Reese. 1,000 people went off. They went off. So suddenly, I'm shaking. I hit a coat of paint, and the ball rolled 3 yards to the left behind me, and everything went quiet. And I was just in shock. Athletically, I've never been embarrassed in my life. I've been the star, the stud of every team I've ever. And I'm just standing there. And then Chuck Keaton says, after this big Giants introduction, Chuck Keaton says, 2nd and 7. Everybody busted out laughing. I busted out laughing. But you know me. In my heart, I was not going to be embarrassed like that. So the first off day I had, I went to a driving range, and I was lucky enough there was a pro there doing a group lesson.
Perfect.
So my first real lesson, I learned how to hold it the right way, swing it the right way. So I've got a great swing. I used to have a really
You do have a
game.
great swing.
I used
Man.
to have a really good game. But boy, the beginning of my golf career was a nightmare.
But that is something about what we do. You've worked in TV, you've worked in sports. And
Yeah.
when they ask you, have you ever covered this? You just say yes.
Yeah.
And you figure
if
it out
you want
later.
that job,
Yeah.
I did 2 Olympics boxing. I ain't never hit nobody in my life. I had to study. They sent me novels. They sent me to stay with Oscar de la Hoya for 2
Wow.
weeks. And then later in the '96 Olympics in Atlanta, that was in Barcelona. In Atlanta, they sent me to stay with Mayweather for a week, and I trained with him. I sparred with him, and it just what a great job.
Yeah.
It's a hard job. Now, listen, she knows. I don't care. I don't care what town you live in. There's a whole bunch of lawyers, a whole bunch of bankers. There's a whole bunch of this, whole bunch of that. There's 4 sports directors.
Right.
It's true. It's true.
4 jobs in the whole town, and you've got one of them. So you got to have some talent.
Well, and I think it's right. You pick a city that works for you. You
Yeah.
spent a number of years in 2 cities, I believe
Yeah.
you said
Yeah.
most significantly. And
Yep.
I'll be honest with you, people like Rory are why I've been here, because the way they embrace the community,
That's
the
right.
way they bring in people into the family,
That's right.
this is why Central Pennsylvania is what it is, and
Yes.
it's truly people like Rory, Mid-Penn Bank, this
Yep.
type of event.
Yep.
I mean, we're sitting in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and he's got the who's who of everyone
Yeah.
in sports
Yeah.
here raising money for breast cancer research. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
incredible. It's a great town.
And it's I know Rory doesn't like to, but it's his personality.
How can you
it's
not be around this guy?
Yeah, he's just a guy that whatever he says, you're gonna do.
All right, don't
You're
get
gonna
me
be-
all choked
You're
up now,
gonna,
man.
be there. You're gonna be there when he says be there, and you're gonna do it the way he wants it done. And so it's really a special event.
And his heart, obviously, is right
Absolutely.
where it needs
Big
to be.
time.
You supported it before you understood it, really.
Yeah, I didn't, it was just another big charity. I
Mm.
play in charity events all of another big charity. And then it punched me. God has a way of working. And he sent me here to help raise money and to support this event. And he knew what was about to happen.
Hey, by the way, that's a really nice ring you have there, man.
Well, I am.
Look at you,
If you, I don't know
champ.
if you guys can focus in on the ring.
Yeah.
This
Don't-
is a
don't play
the
now.
shootout championship ring
Don't
from
play.
the very first year,
The
from
first
2019.
One of my greatest moments, me and my partner, woof, boy,
Robert
it was tough.
Wittig.
Robert hit the shot of
His life.
golf life. Golf life. On the final hole, we just battled, and somebody missed a putt. And we made a putt. And this is that. So you survive, and they're killing people. They're sending people home. Comes down to, I think, Coach
Gunther.
Coach
Gunther, yeah.
Gunther,
Yep.
Coach Gunther, and me, and our partners. And,
I think his partner was Lee Turner.
yeah,
And then
Lee
Paul
Turner.
Gunther, yeah.
And so I had to punch Robert's drive back into the fairway. Robert hits a shot on 18. It was unbelievable. He hit it about 6 feet from the flag, and I rolled it in, and we won it.
It was a beautiful.
Woo!
That was a great
That
first
was
win.
just
And,
a great turn.
I think you probably remember this. Every year you would come. I would always say, hey, could you take a picture with me?
Yeah.
I had a friend from college.
Yeah.
A woman, Mary Beth Cass.
Yes.
And you were her favorite player. She was from the greater
Oh,
New
yeah,
York
yeah,
metro area.
yeah,
and
yeah, I
and she
remember that.
loved you. And,
Oh,
she
yeah.
loved your name, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
And
Oh, listen, I had a lot of cats. I had a lot of dogs. They Beasley.
Yeah, yeah.
The people would tell people in the stand, "Hey, my dog's named Beasley. I named my cat Beasley." It's so cool. That
Well,
name has done a lot for me.
I would take a picture with you every year.
Yeah.
I'd send it to her and say, hey, look, Beasley says hello, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She just passed away.
Oh man.
Yeah. And so that's why I didn't ask for the picture this year.
Yeah. Oh.
It was way too young. She was a fantastic person. Her family, her mom and dad are still alive, and her
Okay.
brother Jay.
Oh.
And,
It's
they
gotta be so hard for
that-
everybody.
that was, I'm sure, something that she looked forward to seeing every year. And again, that's,
No.
you guys use your celebrity the right way.
Hmm.
And, that was probably a pain for you to, maybe I'm dragging you away from stuff, just take a picture. And like, you guys just, I hope you understand how important you are
Well,
to things like this, because, look, we could put together the best golf tournaments in the world, and we could have, great golf courses like Hershey and we could go to, great hotels like the Hershey Hotel. But if we don't have you guys, then we can't get sponsors. And if we don't have sponsors, we can't get dollars. And if we don't have dollars, we can't make contributions to,
That's right.
research and to try to eradicate this dreaded disease. So I hope you guys feel that.
Oh, we feel it, and one of the things I'm most proud of, I almost every year I run into somebody somewhere, some 40-year-old man, a grown man, who tells me that I spoke at his junior high Pop Warner football dinner, and some of them even tell me something that I said, and it just tears my heart. That they grabbed it and they kept it, and that you had an influence on a kid that's a successful grown man now who remembers some encouragement you gave him. So knowing that, I know that every word I say, everything I do, it's got to be done in a certain spirit,
Right.
and it's got to be with love. It's got to be with respect. It's got to be professionalism, and you have to honor. You have to be honorable and thankful, and all of those big words and phrases.
Well, I never had the pleasure of meeting your parents, but I think those two did a great job.
Oh,
with you,
they
my
were
friend.
something else.
Yeah, I
Boy,
bet
I wish
they
you'd
did a
have met
great job with you.
They was something else, buddy.
All right, my friend, get back there and
Thank
help
you.
your team out.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
again
you,
this
buddy.
year, and I
Thank
love you, man,
Good luck.
from the bottom of my heart. You know that. Did you just make a big putt? Oh, you made the big putt. Yeah, okay. And you guys are playing together?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you
It's great,
playing with
man.
my
It's great.
guys at Wound Pros?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
Ralph Citrullo.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, my-
Oh, he's a stick.
He's the
You know,
probably he's the best one in my 4 years here. He's the best player. He's phenomenal.
So we're
Bees, yeah.
we're talking about Ralph Citrullo from Wound Pros. So this is their first year. Very generous sponsors, and Ralph and the other partner Brian Abrams. They both played in the shootout yesterday, and Ralph made it far. He hit a lot of really good shots, and you get down to the end when there's only like 2 or 3 teams left, and there's one bad shot, and that's how you get out of it. But he played really well. So how's he doing today?
He's phenomenal. Ralph is he's really good. Yeah, he was telling us. Yeah, I mean he clearly is a single-digit handicap.
Yeah.
He hits them straight and long. In fact, Scott's been awesome the last 3 or 4 holes. Like they're pretty close.
Right.
I mean, was your last hole over 300?
I doubt it, but
It was pretty good. It was
but
pretty good.
maybe 325 or something.
See?
But
Yeah,
let me tell you something about those guys. They're good dudes. And
Yeah,
really good guys.
You
Really good
more
guys.
importantly,
Yeah.
whether he's a great golfer or what, obviously he helps us and he hits the heck out of the ball. But I tell you what, this is a great group and this is a great golf tournament.
Thank you, Scott.
I really
Phenomenal.
I enjoyed yesterday. I didn't get to come up early. I had some stuff I had to do. Last night I ran into all kind of friends I haven't seen for a long time, and whether they were ex-athletes or just employees or were employees
Right.
of your bank or so. Just an awesome day or two.
Well,
I
Scott,
appreciate the
you've been
opportunity
here
to be
for a few years,
Yes.
and we love having you, Adam. I think you've been here 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's Roy. I can't wait to come here every year. I'm not more of a tennis player, but the camaraderie, as Scott's talking about, everyone's great people. You run such a great event, very professional, and a lot of laughs, by the way. Which we love too.
We love that.
Yeah, and obviously it's for a great cause. A lot of us, as you told me, really when I first came, most of us have been touched by breast cancer.
Right.
My mother, my father, unfortunately passed away of cancer. A lot of cancer in my family, unfortunately. But yeah, this event means a lot to me.
That's good. So, Allie's the sports director for WHTM, so she's kind of in your business.
Yeah.
Looking up to guys like you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, it's interesting business. It's always evolving, the sports media business.
I think it's all about personalities and relationships, and I think that's what makes events like this so special is developing some of those and understanding.
And you never know who you're going to meet. Freddie Mitchell and I are probably going to play tennis on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Freddie
good.
Mitchell
Yeah,
plays tennis.
Oh, yeah.
didn't
He's
get
been
to that.
telling me
I'm
for
all day
years.
long.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't tell Freddie. He told me he's going to whoop him though. He
Yeah.
said he's
Oh.
going to take him to
I'm going
the
to take it.
cleaners.
I'm going to make him run.
And maybe I wasn't supposed to say that, but
Yeah.
I bet you he would jaw right back at you on that.
He does jaw.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Freddie's great.
He's a very confident
character,
person. Let's
yeah.
say
He's
call
a
it a
character,
confident
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
So, Scott, Allie, of course, as a sports director, the team that she covers most
Your
is
team.
Penn State, right? So Tell us real quick about your years at Penn State.
We are. So of course it was quite a few years ago, but you know, I have tickets. We have, of course, the Letterman's organization that gives us the opportunity to get in the sidelines.
Yep.
And we have a huge 12,000 square foot facility where if the game gets a little boring, which they do early in the season, we get to go up and watch TV and eat. But what a great experience. You know, I graduated 79, so however long ago that was. You know, we still meet up for a tailgate. We get 25, 30 guys from our age team show up, and you know, we're all in a text together, and it's just it's awesome. It's, you know, it's just awesome experience that I was able to go there, play for Coach Paterno, and now some of my best friends 50 years later are my Nittany Lion buddies.
What was that like playing for Coach Paterno?
Well, I love Joe. I love Joe. Of course, this is what I found out when I was there. Most of the kids had come from high school or superstars.
Mm-hmm.
So you come up from wherever you're high school, you're a superstar, and if you play, you love Joe. If you, for some reason, don't play, I hate Joe Paterno.
It's funny how that works.
Great experience, you know, and as everybody will say, you know, besides my mom and dad, you know, Joe taught me so many things, what I had learned to move on to life, you know, be on time, do things correctly, do what your parents say, stupid little things that have stuck with me that I kind of pass on to my kids. And yeah, I've just been very fortunate with all those situations.
That's
the
awesome.
The program has had such decorated history. You're a part of that, as are some of the other guys that are here. A lot of Nittany Lions in the field of 40. But how close is this program right now to a national title?
They're close, but I tell you what, and you know, a lot of people ask me about Coach Franklin. I said I love Coach Franklin, great coach. Yeah, but they can't get over the hump. Pretty tough to beat Michigan and Ohio State and get over the hump. Quite honestly, that's a tough chore. But you know, their recruiting is very good. They're bringing in a lot of really good high school, you know, 5-star, 4-star guys. So they're very close. But now they got Oregon. You know, they got a tough Big Ten. So they're, you know, they're a top 10 team in the country. To get to 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's tough. It's tough.
Hey, top
All right,
10 gets you in the playoff, though.
Yeah, right.
So Scott, you were a wideout, right? You weren't in there mixing it up with the big boys. Did you ever get hit by that guy, Hugh Green?
Oh, we were talking about that at breakfast. I'm thinking that we maybe played Hugh maybe 1 year or so when he was at Pitt.
Yeah.
We were talking. We played Tony Dorsett.
Yeah.
I think Hugh might be 2 or 3 years younger.
I think
do you remember when
he graduated in '80. So it would have
70. Yeah, I would have played him for 2 or 3
Yeah.
years. 79.
Yeah,
78.
and in fact, he was just saying that you guys played back to back up at Penn State.
Yes.
Yeah, in '78 and '79, I think.
Yeah, they the year 77, I think they beat us out at the old Pitt Stadium. Dorsett, and then I think he came and we whooped him twice.
Yeah, he said his he was 2-2 against you guys.
So he was probably started 70. Yeah. So that sounds right.
All
I
right.
just remember we beat them out there, their place in the pouring snow, which was pretty fun.
Adam, how are the Eagles going to do this year?
So I predicted them to be 14-3 2 years ago. I got that right. So I'm going to go 11-6. They'll
Okay.
be better than last year. I think, Rory, they're going to be better coached than last year. Two highly competent coordinators. I know Kellen Moore a little bit. He's really good. Like, he's good. And
That was really the problem with the team last year, right? I think they
Coaching-
got out of sync on
coaching
on
and
the
a guy
coordinators.
that this man knows because he was on the Star staff when Scott was a player for the Stars, Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
Vic started his coaching career in mid-'80s. He's the master of a scheme that a lot of teams run.
right.
And Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, Rory loves that scheme. So the talent level is better. They got a first-round corner. Quinyon Mitchell is going to be a good player. Hopefully he'll start week 1. They got to get Hurts back on track. So what do they need to do to advance? Get the quarterback back on track. Get the defense playing with more discipline. They had a major lack of discipline last season. They kind of fell apart. Part of that collapse was 6 out of 7. It's a lack of discipline in defense, but the coaching's going to be better. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. This is going to be a fascinating team because there's a lot of mystery. There's so many new players. Kelsey retired. Fletcher Cox retired. It's hard to do when you replace probably well, we know Kelsey will make the Hall of Fame. Fletcher Cox might. It's hard to replace those guys.
Oh yeah, Kelsey's
Culture,
he's a
yes.
first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's-
So did you see Brandon last night? Brandon
BG,
Graham?
oh yeah.
He seemed pretty fired up about this team. No, I mean, you know, he
He's
probably
optimistic
should be,
guy.
but
No, but he was actually very honest. It's funny you say that. In a lot of interviews, he told the truth about
Right.
what happened with the defense. There were too many competing voices. It just didn't work, but they're going to be much better in what should be BG's last year. Not only make the playoffs, let's see them make another run. think
He,
they've got a
he
chance.
told me that this is last year.
His farewell tour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys. Go get him.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Mid-Penn Bank podcast. If you like what you've heard, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. The podcast can be found at Apple, Spotify, Google, and wherever you find great podcasts. If you have any feedback or questions, email us at podcast@midpennbank.com. References in this podcast to Mid-Penn are to Mid-Penn Bancorp, Inc. and its subsidiaries and affiliates. This podcast expresses the views of its participants and may not represent the views of Mid-Penn or its officers and employees. In addition, these views are subject to change without notice, and Mid-Penn has no duty or obligation to update the information contained in this podcast. This podcast is being made available for informational purposes only and should not be used for any other purposes. You are encouraged to consult with competent legal, tax, accounting, or investment professionals before engaging in any financial transaction. Mid-Penn does not make any warranties as to the accuracy or completeness of the information in this podcast, does not endorse any third-party companies, products, or services, and assumes no liability for your use of this information. Forward-looking statements should not be considered guarantees or predictions of future events. This podcast is the sole property of Mid-Penn and may not be copied, reproduced, republished, or posted in whole or in part in any form without prior written consent of Mid-Penn.